Here's Lubavitcher Rebbe doing his job as the Mashiach and educating the world as to what the Torah really is and what the Jewish people really are and what the world really is and what is time. Pretty interesting. The Rebbe explained that therefore the Torah was given in the third month to signify that the number 3 signifies the unification of two opposites. Two opposites and something in the middle that unifies them. And that was the purpose of the Torah, to be given in the world, which God purposely made the world to seem like it is a separate entity from the Creator. Or maybe it makes it seem that there's no Creator at all. That's the only entity. And put the Torah into the world so that through the Torah and the Jewish people there can be united the two opposites, which is the Creator and the creation. Through the Jewish people. And everyone will look at a Jew, and the Jew will say, I'm doing what I'm doing because that's what God, the God who's creating you, wants me to do. That's why I'm not eating milk and meat together. That's why I'm not carrying money on Shabbat. That's why I'm not, because that's what God who's creating me and you, the whole world, that's what He wants. And God has a plan for this world. By means of that, you'll see that the Torah, rather than being affected by the world and being watered down by the world, and rather Jews being afraid of the world and afraid of what people think, exactly the opposite. People will be happy to hear what the Jews think. People will be overjoyed. It will remove fear from the world. People have only one fear, and that will be to do the wrong thing. People will be afraid to do the wrong thing. And that's the idea of the Torah. The Torah is number 3. The third month to show that the purpose of the Torah is to unite these 3 seeming opposites. God, the world, and the Jews with the Torah. Hey, Muzbar Bezohar. That was a speech that the Rebbe gave in 1958. Muzbar Bezohar is explained in the Zohar. Chag Shavuot, that the holiday of Shavuot Na'aleh is higher than all of the other holidays. Shalochin, therefore, Huchal Be'emtza, therefore it is in the middle between Pesach and Sukkot. Mikaven Senshu Emtzeita Dekula, because the holiday of Shavuot is the middle balancing point of all being. Torah. The Torah is the middle point of all existence. Like you have a top, spins around. It's on one little tiny point. The top could be, that one little point upon which everything is based is the Torah. Ha'uvda shechag Shavuot, the fact that the holiday of Shavuot is only one day, and not like Pesach, or the holiday of Shavuot, which are 7 days or 8 days. It's not because it's smaller and it is less significant, only one day. Ela Adarabah, this is holiday of Shavuot is Yamei Ka'am. Hayom Echad. The one day of the holiday of Shavuos makes it Umi Ka'amcha Goy Echad Ba'oretz. This stresses that the Jewish people are one nation. What does it mean, one nation? One nation says, who are like the Jewish people? They are one nation in the world. Goy Echad Ba'oretz. One nation in... Explain the Baal Shem Tov that what? That the Jewish people are a nation that makes one... The oneness of God, they're a one nation. They are the nation of God, Ba'oretz, and they make God revealed in the world. Goy Echad, they're a nation of one, Ba'oretz, to make Him revealed in the world. That's the purpose of the Jewish people, that God should be revealed in the world. That's why there was the Holy Temple. That's why God gave the Torah in this physical world, in a physical book, with physical letters, with ink on physical parchment, on paper. It's a book in the library. And this is a book which you can think is just like any other book. And really the fact of the matter is the essence of the creator of the universe. In a book. Can this possible? Does this make sense? Certainly not, but that's the fact. The whole world, in fact, doesn't make sense. The whole world is an amazing creation. The Zeh Ka'omer, like we said before, Shemiti Tinyan Achdut, because the true expression of God's oneness, who b'Torah is in the Torah, which was given in the third month. So when you're learning the Torah, you should realize it's like going into the Holy of Holies. You're actually thinking the thoughts that God is thinking. You're saying the words that God is saying right now. It says when a person sits and learns Torah, God sits and learns Torah opposite him. So the Torah is the middle point that unites these two opposites. The Creator and the creation of the Torah is right in the middle, uniting everything together. There are two benefits, two good, unique qualities when it comes to the middle pillar. Middle. The Torah is the middle, right? That's what Torah comes between Pesach and Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot. It's because the Shavuot is in the middle. The middle is very important. Why?
It's not in the middle, though.
What?
It's not supposed to be Pesach.
Doesn't make any difference when, as far as time goes, it's not exactly in the middle, but it is placed between the two. That's what it means. The two malos b'chava and soy. The middle pillar, meshubach mishnei akavim achirim, u'kafi shemotzim anu b'Gemara. Like we see in the Gemara, the middle, what is found in the middle is the more important. Like it says, Rav be'emtza, if a rabbi is teaching two pupils, the rabbi should be in the middle, Gadol, his greatest pupil, should be in his right, and the smallest pupil should be on his left. The rabbi should be in the middle. Kavim soy ushorish kol hakavim. The middle pillar is the middle of all of the other pillars. Like a human being. You have a right arm and a left arm, but they both depend on the body. The body is the center. Shekain kavem soy ola ala keter. Because it says the middle pillar, like your human body. And the middle goes all the way up to the top. That's what a human being is. The middle is higher than the right or the left. Shorish u'mokar kol sfirot. So the middle pillar, from that comes all the other sfirot, all the other aspects of God are the middle, like in a human being, right? The middle, that's the essence of awareness, of willpower, power of pleasure. This is all in the middle pillar. The right and the left, love and fear, that's already on the two different sides. The Torah, therefore, is in the middle. It is the source of every. It is higher than all the other aspects and is the source of all the other aspects. So we can see also with the holiday of Shavuot. The holiday of Shavuot is, number one, higher than all of the other holidays. Like we said, it's this one day that everything is concentrated into it. And number two, the Shavuot, the Torah was given. And the Torah, if you didn't have the Torah, you wouldn't have any holidays. All the commandments come from the Torah. So that this was the middle pillar. The middle pillar is higher than all of the other aspects. And also it is the source of everything. Just take anything. You build a building, right? You want to build a building. I mean, I'm not an architect. I don't really know anything about architecture, which you're going to see from what I'm going to say now. But if you want anything to stand, it has to be balanced, right? Balance comes from the middle. Either it's balanced in weight, it's balanced in something, but still, the balance has to come from the middle. Says the Rebbe, this idea of balance, of a middle pillar, from that idea of balance comes everything, comes the whole entire building. If there was no such thing as balance, you couldn't build a building. So on one hand, it's the highest of all. It reaches to the highest point. And on the other hand, it's the source of everything. Everything comes from it. Because if there wasn't such a thing as balance, you couldn't have any. The same thing is the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot, on one hand, it is the highest of all the holidays. It's compared in the Talmud in Shabbat there to Yom Kippur. The holiday of Shavuot, it's only one day, just like Yom Kippur is. And the holiday of Shavuot also, it says over there, brings total forgiveness for all sins. Holiday of Shavuot, only one day. Very powerful. And of course, it's the source of all the other holidays. Unlike Yom Kippur, holiday of Shavuot is the holiday which the Torah was given. Without the Torah, there's no holidays, there's no anything. Ka'amur le'el, like we said before, Iker Inyan Chag Shavuot, the main thing of the holiday of Shavuot is Torah. Av Malad Limud Torah. Also, learning Torah is in comparison to doing the commandments. Also, we can see these two benefits of learning Torah more than the commandments. Number one, the mitzvah of learning Torah is higher than all the other commandments. Like it says, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Learning Torah is the most important commandment. It says, according to the law, that if there's any commandment that somebody else can do, you don't have to stop learning Torah. This is only talking about a person who learns the Torah all the time. There are people that learn the Torah constantly. People that were learning the Torah constantly all the time, is those people, they don't have to do any of the commandments, unless it's a commandment that no one else can do. Right? They don't have to put a mezuzah on their door. Somebody else will do it. Right? They don't have to, what else? Make kiddush on Shabbos, somebody else will do it. All the other commandments that there are that another person can do, they don't have to do. So Rabbi Shimon, especially, they don't have to build a sukkah, they don't have to make a lulav etrog. They could take it and shake it. But they don't have to do it. You could sit and learn Torah all the time, and you don't have to do any other commandments that someone else can do the commandments. The learning Torah is higher than that commandment. The Torah is higher than all the other commandments. That's what it says, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. And also, that learning the Torah is the source of all the other commandments. It brings to all the other commandments, like the rabbis say, Gadol Talmud Shemevi Dei Maisa. The greatness of learning Torah is that it brings to action. Okay, Herschel. Maybe put the on the table. The explanation is like this: the 613 commandments that corresponds to the 613 limbs and blood vessels that are in a human being. 248 positive commandments correspond to the 248 limbs, which they're listed in different places. The 365 negative commandments, that corresponds to the 365 blood vessels. You look in the Zohar, it explains what they are. Torah is like brain. Torah. The Torah is like the brains. Just like the brains of a person are higher than any of the other limbs in two ways, like we just said. Number one, the brains are the highest, and also the brains are the source. Chayot mochin, the life force which is in the brain, is higher than any other limbs. And number two, the brain includes inside of it all of the life which is in all of the limbs. Right? There's what is it, the nodules or whatever in the brain, that you touch them, all of a sudden the arm moves. There's one you would do. Keinu b'yachas l'maylas Torah, the same thing, the Torah. The Torah is higher than all the other commandments, and learning Torah, and the Torah is the source of all the commandments, just like the brains of a person. The human brains, they are higher than any of the other limbs. And I mean, you can make a transplant, a heart transplant, a lung transplant. You can't make a brain transplant, right? The brain is the highest of all the other limbs. It's incomparable. You can't. Ches. And also the brain is the source of all the other. The brain controls and sends messages to all the other. Mila Nosefet, there's also something, an additional quality, high quality in this middle pillar, in this middle balancing line, which is the Torah, she'ola al panimiyut ba'atzmut haketer, that it goes up to the inside and the essence of what's called the crown of God, above the source, mishorish umokar asfirot shebeketer, higher than even this aspect of keter itself. Now, again, it says in the Bible, the man is made in the image of God, right? So there's a lot of explanations of what this means, but a Kabbalistic explanation is very simple, that man has a personality, and his personality is exactly the same as God's personality. The only difference is that God's personality is infinitely infinite, and it creates us, and our personality is very, very finite, and it doesn't create anything. But nevertheless, our personality is, generally speaking, a person's personality is divided into two: intellect and emotions. What a person thinks, his philosophy of his life, his understanding of life, what's important, what's not important, this understanding, this affects his emotions, what he loves, what he hates, what he does, how he expresses himself, when he expresses himself, what he doesn't express himself. So that's emotions and intellect. God also has emotions and intellect. Generally speaking, it says the emotions are God's creating the world. That's why God created the world in 7 days. He created it from his emotions. And intellect, generally speaking, that's the Torah. But says the Rebbe, no, this is the Maimon we're learning in the morning also. That's the Torah as it's relevant to the world. But the essence of the Torah, the fact that the Torah is God's wisdom, this is totally above the world. This is totally above the commandments. This is the essence of God himself. That's what's called keter, the crown. The crown is above the head. So to speak, we're made in God's image. The image of God is what we call these 10 spheres. But the essence of God is much above that. And that's where the Torah comes from. Lamaila, Kain hu legabri Torah. So it is regarding the Torah. She milvad, not only that the Torah has all these points we said before, that it's the middle pillar and that it balances and it's the highest and everything else comes from it. The Torah and all the commandments come from the Torah. But even more, the Torah has something really, really special that's not found anywhere. Shemevi, here. Shemevi, that it brings lamaisa a mitzvahs, v'nailus mikol a mitzvahs, she'ein milos b'mitzvahs Talmud Torah, yesh lo milos gam b'Torah mitzad atzmo, she'chachmasa shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu ve'etzlo uman. It says also the Torah, that not only we had the greatness of the Torah that it brings to doing the commandments, and it's above all the commandments, but also the Torah has something in itself, that the Torah is the wisdom and the essence of God himself, the Creator. Like it says, etzlo amun, I am by him like a plaything. This is one of the, what is it, in Mishlei, it talks about the Torah, and how the Torah is God's plaything, God's essence. So the Torah and God is one. This is something we don't find anywhere else. We talked about this before. The commandments only make you a vessel for God's will. But with the Torah, you're truly united with God, because the commandments come from the Torah. And the Torah is the essence of God himself. Who would dream a thing like that? But the fact is, the only time in the whole history of the universe that God actually appeared and told people what this whole business is about, why he created the whole universe, what the whole thing is about, the only time it ever happened was when God gave the Torah to the Jews. And even though there's other mystical groups and other whatever is lodges and these things, and they say that they have the truth and they have the way, and it was given to them with golden plates and bronze plaques, and then secret diamonds and mysterious revelations and angels came from heaven and told them what to do and all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they're lying. That's the fact. I mean, let's be frank. They're lying. The people had a big revelation, there's no doubt about it. And they had some sort of experience, also no doubt about it. But the only time that the creator of the universe actually appeared to people and told them what he wants is when he gave the Torah. And he gave it in front of 3 million people. Not just 300,000 and not 3,000 and not 30 or 300 and not 3 and certainly not 1. God personally appeared, panim lepanim, face to face. Everybody heard it, and he gave the Torah. Good. It says after the first 2 commandments, the Jews couldn't take anymore, but at least they knew where it came from. And that's what he gave them. He gave them his essence. Of course, did it work? I don't want to say it online, but after few days, the Jews, Moshe was gone. The Jews said, do you remember something 40 days ago, something about not worshiping idols? He says, nah, I don't know. I don't remember nothing like that. Hey, there's a golden calf. We say we worship the golden calf. Okay, why not? Someone said, hey, I think that's forbidden to do. Yeah, he said something like that too, but I mean, you really remember? You have any, you know what, you do what you want, I'll do what I want. So nobody really, it didn't really have that much of an effect. It was too much. But the truth is the truth. No matter who believes it. The truth is the truth. No matter who accepts it, who embodies it. The truth is the truth. The truth is God personally, in his essence, spoke to all of the Jewish people, appeared and spoke to all of the Jewish people 50 days after he took them out of Egypt and gave them his essence. Like it says, Anochi is Aleph, Nun, Chaf, Yud, are the letters Ana, I, Nafshi, my soul, Katavit, wrote, Yahavit, and gave. God said, when I gave you the Torah, I gave myself. Shazil, look in chapter 37 of Tanya. 47. Shazil, this is also immediate in the Torah. That's the whole idea of learning Torah for its own sake. Kepshat Lashon. You learn the Torah for the sake of the Torah itself. You don't even learn the Torah for the sake of knowing what to do. But you learn the Torah for the sake of the Torah itself. It's a mitzvah to learn the Torah. Of course you have to learn the Torah in order to know what to do. That's for certain. But the main reason that you learn the Torah is because of the Torah. It's like getting married. Right? What is a person? If you don't get married, you can't have a family. You have children. Carry out Judaism. They can carry on after you. Also, a man functions better if he's married. He has more stability. He's more in the world, more grounded in the world. All these things are really true. They're really true. To get married, wonderful reasons. But the main reason you get married is because Hashem said, stand under the chuppah and you get married. Right? And it's true, they have to be the personalities have to be fitting, and etc., etc., and there's a lot of jokes about that. But nevertheless, those are very important things. But after all those things go away, and God forbid it should be such a thing like that, in the end a person is married because Hashem said you should get married. Hashem put them together. You can get divorced according to Judaism. You certainly can get divorced according to Judaism. But it says that the altar cries, it's not a good thing. Some people say it's better the altar should cry than I should cry. But nevertheless, that was not funny though.
That was funny.
Nevertheless, the fact is, the same thing with God and the Jewish people. When they got married, the essence of our relationship with the Torah is that God gave it. Also, it's a wonderful book. It's under tremendous understanding. It's very enjoyable. If you really have a good mind, it's very enjoyable to understand, to realize, to think. Right? It also gives you a big social status in the religious world. You know Torah. You're a higher level. People respect you.
Nobody comes to me. All this love, just keeps on going back to Shir HaShirim.
Sure, that's what King Solomon's Shir HaShirim is, a love song between God and the Jewish people, especially when the Torah was given, especially on the day of the Torah, right? Or in the future redemption. It talks about either when the Torah was given or when the Beit HaMikdash was built, or in the future redemption. It starts off with the future redemption. The guy will kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Rashi says that's talking about in the future, the Mashiach will reveal the secrets of the Torah. And then we'll hear God speak, but it'll be the kisses of God. We'll actually unite our mouths with God's mouth. Okay. Dugmat ben shalo ra'a et aviv meshech zaman. Learning the Torah should be something like a child that has not seen his father for a long time. Shehu korelo, he calls to him. Kishara'u lofel tzavar aviv amelech. When he sees him, he falls on his neck and he hugs him. His father is a king, Mechabko, Menashko, and he embraces him and he kisses him. There's no advantage. Was he hugging his father for? Oh, he hasn't seen his father. Daddy hugs him, he kisses him. Why is he doing it? Freud would probably explain he's doing it for an ulterior motive. He's a Oedipus complex. He's afraid of being left. All these psychiatrists say, people don't want to be alone. They're afraid of being this. They really want to hate the reason they hug their fathers because they want to kill them, because they want to get their mother. But all of that is a big lie. It's not so. The fact of the matter is, a boy sees his father that he hasn't seen for a long time. He hugs him and he kisses him. Why? For no reason at all. There's no logic behind it. He does it because he loves him. It's pure love. And he doesn't, he wants to come close. He wants to show his father so that he'll appreciate his father, will reciprocate. He wants everybody to know how far away he is. It's not talking about what he wants. He has no ulterior motives. It's pure truth, emes. He loves his father and he hugs his father for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Kach gam ish Yisrael, so it is every Jew. Kishiyesh lo rega echad panui, if he has one moment free, yacholto, that he can take his father, the king, by means of the Torah, like the rabbis say, oti atem lochim, that you're taking me. When you learn the Torah, you're actually uniting yourself with God. You're kissing God and hugging God. Eino mitkaven b'shat ma'aseh l'shum davar acher. When he's learning the Torah, he's not intending, I'm learning the Torah so that I'll be a Talmid Chacham. I'm learning the Torah so that I'm going to go to heaven. I'm learning the Torah so that I'm going to get big blessings in the world and God will bless me. He's not thinking anything like that. Lowly De'at HaMaaseh, he's not even learning the Torah in order to know what it says in the book. For Lowly Kiyam HaMitzvahs, or know how to fulfill what it says in the book, or to fulfill the commandment of learning Torah. Those are all true, and you have to do those things. Wonderful. But the main reason of learning the Torah should not get lost in all of these other reasons. Hunechaz b'Torah atzmo. He is learning the Torah itself. Every word that he can say, a right of HaKadosh Baruch Hu kol echad. The Torah and Hashem are totally one. So when he's learning the Torah, it's like he has a private audience with the Creator of the universe. According to this, Yuven Gam Anemar B'Gemora, we can understand what it says in the Gemara. Hillel Mechayev Anim, Rabbi Eliezer ben Charsum Mechayev Ashiri. What does this mean? Hillel obligates poor people, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Charsum, he obligates the rich people. What do you mean obligates? What does he obligate to what? Obligates them to learn Torah. If a poor person comes, or a shirim, or a rich person comes, v'yitleb bittul Torah, and says the reason I didn't learn Torah is because I was so busy. The poor person says I didn't have any money. I had to go around and collect money. I didn't have anything. I had to all day just to get a piece of bread. And the rich person says, I had so much money. I was so busy. I had so many worries that somebody would take it from me that I had to invest more. I didn't have time to learn Torah. Yamdu la'em kadugma. Bring Hillel and Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim. Hillel says didn't have any money whatsoever, and he paid the money, the little bit of money that he had, didn't have money to go into the base of Midrash. I guess you had to pay money to go into the... So he went on right, he hid on the, there was a skylight. He hid over the skylight. There was a cold day and the sun came over, the snow covered him over. Mesirat Nefesh, he just wanted to hear words of Torah. And Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim says he was tremendously rich, he had all sorts of money, and nevertheless he sat and learned Torah. The Cha'ora, at first glance, doesn't make any sense. If, what does it mean? A person that says, I can't learn Torah, I couldn't learn Torah because I was too poor. Another person said, I was so rich, I couldn't learn Torah. I had all these people depending on me. I had to... It says, bring them Hillel and bring them Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim. They'll show you that poor people learn Torah and rich people learn Torah. Says the Rebbe, one second, this whole thing in business is not so understandable. I mean, what is this person making an excuse? If the excuse is a false excuse, it's a bad excuse, then la'amito shel davar yochel lifnot the Torah. Really, he could have learned Torah. So then you don't have to bring Hillel and you don't have to bring Elazar ben Charsim. It says clearly in the Torah, v'higata behem, v'hagita behem, yomam v'layla. You have to learn Torah day and night. Hillel did it. Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim did it. And you have to do it too. The person says, no, I was poor. What are you talking about? You're poor. You have a mitzvah to learn Torah. What are you making excuses for? He says, no, bring me an example of a person that was poor and learned Torah. So I don't have to bring you an example. I have to bring you an example for. You have to learn Torah day and night. You find the time. I don't have to bring... If the person really could have learned Torah and he didn't, so what do you have to bring an example from Hillel from? Hillel... If he had 1 minute to learn and he didn't learn, so he's Davar Hashem Bazah, then he's in the category of he's cast away the word of God. If he didn't have time, then he really didn't have time, then how can you bring Hillel and Elazar ben Charsim and say, listen, these people, they obligate you. The person says, listen, I didn't have time, I don't know what you want. Hillel was a great man, Elazar ben Charsim was a great man. They were able to do it. I wasn't able to do it. So it doesn't make any sense. What do you have to bring these two people as a proof for? What's it? This is a proof. This shows it could be that according to the law, as far as the commandment of learning Torah, yesh patur, that they really was truly exempt from learning Torah. This person was really poor, and he really did not have any time to learn the Torah because he was poor. He was really exempt. He was really exempt. And that's why he said that I'm exempt. I don't have to learn. If so, what's it going to help if you bring Hillel to say, well, he was poor, he learned. So good. Listen, he wanted to do it, but he was. I couldn't do it. I was exempt. Every minute of my time, I had to go and scrounge money up. What could I do? Or I was so rich, I had 1,000 people that were knocking on my door, and I had to run my businesses. The whole thing would have gone down. I had thousands of people I was paying their paycheck. I didn't have any time for myself, and he really didn't have any time. It says, therefore, they bring Hillel and Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim. Mitoch hitlavut. It should be that even though you are really exempt from learning Torah, but it should be that because of your excitement, the hargashat hanoam, in the feeling of the pleasantness of being united with God, the right of Kodesh Baruch Hu Kul Echad, that the Torah and God are one, mitmasrim the Torah, even in a place that according to the law of the Torah, you're exempt. So in other words, it could be that really you don't have to learn Torah. And Hillel also didn't have to. It says, but what? Listen, I'm going to bring you an example from Hillel. If you're so poor you can't learn Torah, you're not going to get punished. If you're really poor, you really can't learn. And if you're so rich you can't learn Torah, your day is all filled up, right? You're getting these things. So you can't, if you don't learn, you're going to be exempt. You're exempt. But I just want to show you something. There are people that were in the same situation, and even though they were totally exempt, right? You don't have to take their example if you don't want to. You don't have to take their example. You won't get punished. You truly were exempt from learning Torah. But I want just to show that there were people who were exactly the same situation as you, and they did learn Torah because they loved it so much. Right? If you don't love it that much, there's not going to be any punishment. Don't worry. You really, truly are exempt. You have a good excuse. But nevertheless, the Torah is not being learned, and you're not learning it. Here isn't a chance for that you should have been like them. So, well, I don't understand. How did these guys do it? Well, how did they do it if they were like me? It's because their love of the Torah and their love of Hashem was so great that they found a minute here, they found 2 minutes there. Lefichach, Drusha hayata b'matan Torah arevut shel abanim. Therefore it said that God at Mount Sinai said, listen, guys, I got these complaints from the angels. And the angels are my next door neighbors. And I have to live with these angels all the time. They're complaining. The angels are complaining. Maybe if the angels would live in Siberia or somewhere. No, but the angels are in the upper worlds. And I created them before I created man. And they're higher in a lot of ways than man is. And they're complaining to me. What can I do? I don't know what to tell them. They're saying that you're going to mess the Torah up and that you're not going to keep the mitzvahs and you're not going to... What can I do? So Moshe said, you know what? I'll bring guarantors that will do the Torah. Hashem said, oh, guarantors. Who's going to be the guarantors? Said the wise men. God said, wise men also know how to make excuses. They're wise. What about the prophets? He said, prophets, they're going to have a lot of trouble for the people. I don't know if they're such good guarantors that you're going to learn the Torah. They can't force you. He says, well, who do you want? The guarantors. So Hashem said, bring the children. Children will be your guarantors. The next generation. Regarding the commandments that were commanded at Mara. Regarding the commandments that were commanded at Mara, there were commandments that were given over there. It says, we talked about it last time. Paraduma was given, and Shabbos was given, and there was 7 Noahide commandments and other. Over there, God didn't demand any guarantors. Davka, only in Matan Torah, you had to have a guarantor. Why? Now we can understand why. The main thing of the giving of the Torah, lo ayah l'shem natinat mitzvahs, wasn't because of the commandments. Like we said before. Of course the commandments are important. The commandments are essential. In one way that the commandments are what makes Judaism unique. There is no other religion in the world that has such a thing as commandments. No such thing. They have their rituals, they have their customs, they have their heritage, whatever they have. They have their ceremonies. But none of them claim that these ceremonies were directly from God. This is the way we serve the Lord. This is the way we serve. Right? They have their superstitions. You go in the river and you do a thing like this, you'll have a good year. You step on a crack, break your mother's back. They have all these ideas. And they've been passed down for hundreds of years, who knows, thousands of years. The unique thing about the Torah is that it has the commandments in it. Nevertheless, that's not the main thing of the Torah. It's unique, true. That's what divides us off in a lot of ways from the non-Jews. We have commandments, but that's not the main thing of the Torah. The main commandments were given before the Torah. At Mara, the Jews already had commandments. The main thing of the Torah is Shechiyuva gam ala katanim, that the obligation is even on the small children. It says that even children, you're obligated to teach them Torah. Therefore, the whole importance of the Torah is specifically in the young children. Teaching young children Torah. I have a sister, she lives in Chicago. She said they're developing this method of teaching 3-year-old children to read. I said, as far as I know, the Jewish people have been doing this for the last 3,000 years. Children are reading. It says, Ben Chamesh Lamikra. When a child is 5, he's already learning the the Torah. From 3 years old, they're learning how to read. And we're not talking about the genius children. All the children, they know how to read. Ukamosha Messiah, like it says, Mipi olim v'yonkim yisarata oz. From the children, from the mouths of the children, is founded power. The power of the Jewish people is found in their children. One more. This is the whole idea of Torah Emet. That's what it means that the Torah is truth. Emet, the word truth, symbolizes all of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph is the first letter. Mem is in the middle. Taf is in the end. From Aleph ad Taf. All of the levels, from the highest of highest levels, Aleph, attached to the oneness of God, Jews that are aware of the oneness of God, the highest, biggest tzaddikim, to the lowest Jews that aren't aware of anything. Mitzad Echad, on one hand, the Torah is called Omek Rome. It's called the deepest, highest level. On the other hand, it's called Umala Milada et Amaisa. Lamaila, much higher than just to know what to do. Lamaila minyanim kashurim vasiya, much higher than anything to do with the world. The Torah is the essence of God. God's thoughts, God's will. Before it came into the world, the Torah was before the world, before the spiritual levels. The Torah existed. On the other hand, that's the Aleph of Emet, of truth. On the other hand, Yeshno, the Torah has Omek Tachat, has the lowest level to the smallest children. Shepaturim mina mitzvahs, that they're totally exempt from the commandments. Nevertheless, even to them, you're teaching them Torah, Tziva, Lanu, Moshe. The simplest children also learn Torah. That's Emet, from the beginning till the end, as we'll continue, God willing, tomorrow.